People, today we're going to be talking about The Worst Wiki by Erin Stewart, and it's like the third time, so the third time is the charm. So I'm trying to make this review because there's so many things I want to say about this book, but I ended with like 40 minutes and I still hadn't ended my review, so yeah, let's begin again. I love her first book, Scars Like Wings, and I knew that she was writing another one about mental health, and I was very, I wanted to read this one because I also suffer from anxiety and I am a disabled person. So yeah, I think we need all kinds of representation in books, also with mental health and disabilities. So I don't know where to begin. Let's talk about the book per se. I love what she did in here. The thing about the post-its that we find in the cover and that we are going to find in the beginning of each chapter, it's something that's going to get lots of meaning when we get toward the end of the book. Also, we have a main character that she writes lists sometimes and poetry, so we are going to have it written by hand, and I love that. There's lots of things that I love about the structure of the book. We are going to have like internet things with different comments, which we will have like some of them in here, and it will help us feel or understand what the characters are feeling when they read these things. And also there is lots of things like sometimes when our main character wants to say how she's feeling, we have this cross out. Like, how are you feeling? I'm feeling... She wants to say the truth, but it's like, okay, I can't say the truth. It's like when someone comes to you and says, hey, how are you? And you're thinking, okay, you want me to say I'm okay so we can move on, or you really expect me to explain to you how I'm feeling. So sometimes it's like, I want to say all of this, but I won't because you really don't want to know, or maybe my anxiety is telling me that you don't want to know. And also our main character creates words to express what she's feeling, and we're going to have these little things here. Yeah, I mean, it all makes the book very vital in the way in which it's written. We have emails that she moves onto the trash, and I think it's very visual to have it like this. And I want to show you one more thing. Let's see if I find it. That's sometimes the characters make Google searches, which I love here with the author again represented. And sometimes we have conversations like this one that happens through Instagram, and I also love the way in which, she showed them. So yeah. Okay, about the book, mental health representation. I love it. We have a character with a bipolar disorder, we have characters with anxiety, and we have characters with depression. And I love all the interactions of the characters. And also I love how the author makes you reflect about how these mental illnesses affect your day-to-day life, your own relationships, the way in which you pressure yourself, the way in which you show yourself to the world. And for me, it was amazing. Let's get to the book because I will begin talking and I won't shut up. So I'm not going to make any spoilers. We have our main character, Lily, and she's suffering from anxiety. If you suffer from anxiety, I think that you will find that the representation is very real, and you understand the things that she's going through in her head as she's telling you, or as she's trying to evade things. Other thing is, she's a young adolescent, so she has lots of pressure, the regular kind that when you are in high school, and you want to, get scholarships and win things, and you have to be like the perfect daughter and everything. And also she has anxiety, and she can communicate that with her parents because her parents are dealing with her bigger sister we don't know exactly at the beginning if she tried to kill herself, but the thing is that Lily finds her big sister lying on a pool of blood in the bathroom, and the sister says, help me, and she freezes and she screams for her dad to come, and they go to the hospital, and we learn, that's the very beginning, also in the summary, so no spoilers, we learn from the very beginning that the sister is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and she is in this mental health institution which are trying to help her so she can go back home and be able to function. And, these pills are going to help her. And we will learn more about that when you keep reading the book, which I'm not going to spoil her. So she's in that place in which I think that probably she had anxiety all along. We anxiety sufferers know that you kind of deal with it and go day to day with anxiety and your own inner demons with you, but sometimes there is something, a detonator, and you go BAM! And anxiety gets out of control, and you know how hard it is. And the thing is that she feels like she doesn't know if she's going crazy. She's afraid that the same thing that happened to her sister is going to happen to her. She doesn't want to worry her parents. She's thinking that maybe people are thinking, and it's like, down this rabbit hole. You know how it works. You have anxiety and you have all these voices telling you things. It's your own voice telling you, maybe you're not enough, maybe you're better off alone, maybe you shouldn't have said that. Why did you say that? So she has all this pressure, and maybe she feels like she should ask for help, so someone could, you know, tell her if it's normal or help her. But she feels like this pressure. She doesn't want to disappoint her parents because she feels she's in the role of the perfect daughter, and with everything that's happening in her family dynamics, she feels like she has to fulfill the role. So she's putting all this extra pressure on her. So it's like she's like, you know what I mean? And she's trying to cope with everything. She wants to win the track course. She wants to get the scholarship. She wants to help her sister get better. She wants to be a good friend. She wants to help Mika. She wants to, and it's like, yeah, it's like we anxious people get sometimes our plates very full because it's like we want to do everything. We are just getting stressed out, but yeah, okay. So enter Mika. Mika is going to be our character, love interest, friend interest, and I love him because I'm not going to say what he has because it's something that we will learn as we keep on reading. But I love how he gets introduced in the book. He comes from the same mental institution that Lily's sister was in, and I think it's people, instead of going and talking to him, saying, hey, what happened to you, or if you want to talk about it, I'm here, or whatever, they put labels on him. They think that he was crazy, that he was off kilter. They create these crazy stories about him. They call him Manic Mika, and you see that he's trying to cope with everything, but sometimes people can be very too much. Sometimes people are too much. And yeah, I like the way in which Mika is presented because it makes you think about don't assume things. Go to the person and ask him if you want, or just don't ask him. You know, just respect the privacy of other people and understand that every one of us have our own battles. And I love that this book makes you think about how sometimes people presume to know things, and okay, if he was in a mental institution, he was crazy. End of the story. No, it's not that. But, you know, it makes you think about it, about the way that people put labels on everything and put the labels they feel like putting, not the real ones. And also there is something that I do love about this book. I don't know if it has happened to you, but maybe it's not the same to have anxiety and to be stressed out because you have an exam or you have to do something. It's not the same. And people say, I have anxiety because I have to go to this place or I have to do this exam. No, you are stressed out. It's something that will last maybe one day, but it's not a condition in which you have to, you know, to learn how to live and how to cope. And I think it's something that more or less it gets, you know, talk about this book. On this book, sorry. And this is something that I love because I have had people telling me, oh, I feel like I'm bipolar. Yeah, because this morning I was happy and now this thing happened to me and now I'm not happy. That's not being bipolar. This is life happening to you and your mood and the way you felt changing. It's another thing to be bipolar. And I think that we shouldn't use this kind of language because it can be offensive. Maybe it's not the word, but, you know, it's not the same to have a condition and to suffer, you know. It's not the same to have anxiety and to be stressed out. So, yeah. And yeah, I'm messing the review so badly. There's so many things I want to say about this book. Well, I have presented these two characters. We are going to get to know more about Alice too, the sister who has this bipolar disorder. And I think also the representation was very clear. You understand what she's going through. You can. One of the things that I love about this book is that you have different characters in different places in their lives at this moment, because you have the father, you have the mother, you have a little sister that's trying to fix everyone. Not fix people because they are not broken, but, you know, she's reading Harry Potter and she has read about the Dementors, so she is thinking that maybe they can use some kind of Patronus. She's a small girl. She hasn't seen how the world really is. She's still in, in that place where fantasy melts with reality, and she's trying to help, and you feel for her and you understand that she's trying her best to be helpful in the situation that she feels like it's spiraling out of control. And I love the small sister, and I love how the mother, who is not really the mother, it's the wife of the father, you will learn more when you read the book. I love how she's trying to find her way and to help everyone without being over the top. I love the father. He is an amazing character, and I love that he hasn't the control of everything, because he is helpless too. He doesn't know how to help her daughter. He has lots of things to deal with, and I love that, because I think that in real life, no one has the correct answer, the right answer. We try and we do our best, and and I love that all the characters in this book are like finding their own way. No one is perfect, and this is something that I love. And yeah, we have the two sisters. The dynamic between the two sisters is amazing, how they help each other. And at the beginning of the book, they are like in this rocky situation, because the situation has kind of overcome them, and they are like tiptoeing around each other and lashing out, because they are trying to find the footing and the relationship as it was before, but it has changed. And I love it. There's so many things about this book which are amazing. So yeah, don't let the buggering of the review I'm making stop you from reading this book, because if you like mental health, there's lots of representation, and I think it's very wonderfully done. You have this sisterly bond between these two sisters that are, trying to learn and to cope with their new way of seeing the world. And there's also this relationship between a guy and a girl, which I love how it began, and I love how they began to show themselves to the other one. Not who the society thinks we are, but the real person behind all the labels and all our fears and all our misgivings, and I loved it. I mean, this book is amazing, guys. I have lots of positives about it. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to make this a stellar review, saying all the right things, but yeah, probably I'm like 10 minutes in and I haven't even scratched the surface. I love the representation. The representation, it's amazing. I love that all our characters are not perfect. I love, not in the sense of the mental illnesses, but in the sense that they are being their own person. The characters are young adolescents, and at that moment in time, we were learning how to be, you are in that place in which you are not a child anymore, but you are not an adult, and you are beginning to see that your actions have consequences, and that you want to do good, but sometimes it's not as easy as it seems, and people expect things of you, and it's like this new pressure in which you're beginning to be like very aware of you are going to be an adult, and you have to to take decisions and plan what you want to do in your future and everything. So I love that we have characters who are real to this idea. And for instance, our main character Lily has a best friend, Sam, but she feels like there's some things that she feels like she cannot share. She has anxiety, she has lots of things, she thinks she's getting crazy, she is afraid, so she doesn't open up to her friend, and it kind of impacts the friendship. And that happens in real life, and I love how she thinks about it, and I love how when push comes to shove, she begins to realize that maybe she hasn't been there for her friend, that maybe she was unhauling things on her, and maybe, it should have been different, but in the moment, it's how it worked out and how it happened, no? And I love that. I love all the characters in this book, because you can relate to all of them, and the struggles they have, trying to be themselves, and trying to cope with the things that are happening to them. And this idea that you are enough as you are, and that you are not broken, and that you don't need to get fixed. You need how to learn how to be this new you. Maybe taking pills, maybe go running on the forest, maybe we all have to find out our own way of dealing with things. And I love how our diagnosis, it's not who we are. It's like, okay, it's like, it's part of us, but it's not who we are. And it's like a very positive book. And I love that the things aren't easy. It's not a snap of your fingers and you're cured. It's like trying different things, trying different therapies, trying different pills, trying, it's a thing that's constantly evolving, and you have to really want and to be and to help yourself and everything. And yeah, I love this book. I love this book. I'm going to shut up now because I don't know how long I've been talking. So yeah, pick this one up because it's amazing. Solid characters, amazing plot, incredible way in which the book is written, mental health representation, very well done, very respectful. Yeah, very positive also. So yeah, shutting up. Thanks for watching.